Okay, first of all, Shalom Aleichem, Obeisai. We want to wish Mazel Tov to Rav Kaduri. And Mitzvah Hashem next week on Tuesday. His daughter's getting married. B'Shal Tov Mutzlachas. It should be a binyan adiyat Beis Hashem, and all of us should have only simchas. B'Seder Gomor. Rabbi says, so let's start what you have. If you know what page 1 is, where Tov Kuf Yud Ches. I should have written on it 1. The first pasuk of the parsha. Okay? Are there any sheets left over? Yeah, so maybe you want one or you want to share? You share, they want to share. Shkech. Okay, very good. Good. Okay, what we say. Eile Pikudei HaMishkan. Mishkan HaEdus, Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe, Avodas HaLevim B'yad Yisrael Ben Aaron HaKohen. That's the first pasuk of the parsha. So says Rashi, Eile Pikudei B'parsha Zu Nimnu, Kol Mishkanei Nidvos HaMishkan, Lekesef V'Los V'Chashes. Again, when you want to evaluate your stock, how's that called? No, there's a word of it in English. No, like to reconcile. No, to evaluate how much do I have here. Okay. There's a word. Okay, good. V'nimnu kol kelav l'chol avodasa. Meaning in this pasha, everything's going to be counted. Says Rashi the next one. Hamishkan, Mishkan. As you see, the third and the fourth word of the pasuk are Hamishkan, Mishkan. What is that? Shnei pa'amim. Remez lamigdash shenismashken b'shnei churbanin ala v'neseh sheYisrael. So why does it say Mishkan twice? It's a remez that twice in 2 churbanim, the Mishkan, the Migdash, were nitmashken, a collateral, on because of the avodas of Am Yisrael. So let's give a look at this Rashi. First of all, question number 1. One of them is, meaning the second time it says Mishkan, it's redundant. Right? The first time, that's what you needed Legufai. That's understood. So you have 1 extra, not 2. So how could you learn from it 2? Shnei Pamim? Let's call it kasha number 1. Yeah, Shnei Pamim. So one of them is redundant. Remez Hamikdash and Yismashken b'shnei churbanim. So in Pasha it's referring to Shnei Pamim, Shnei Churbanim. The Chorah, only 1 is miyutar. Miyutar means extra, superfluous. So why? How could you derish 2? That's question number 1. Secondly, isn't this a funny way to call a churban mashkoin? Collateral? I mean, did you ever, like a Tisha B'Av, Zion Thomas, remember we focus on the Churban versus Migdash? Does anybody call it a collateral?
No, I think Mishkan only at the time it still exists.
Yeah, but
because it was
no, since when is it called a Churban Mashkan? שנתמשכן בשני חורבנים. איפה מצאנו את זה? בקיצור, זה המקום היחידי that we find this. That's the only place we find that. What? Yeah, 100%. Do you know anywhere else in Chazal that it's called mashkan? In the whole Sifrei Chazal, Tanoim and Amoraim. I think that's the only place. So yeah, it makes sense. I understand, but like Lamaisa, we never find that elsewhere. I want to ask another question: did Rashi become Hasidish? Mishkan, Mashkoin. Stop playing with words. Again, we know on Lashon HaKodesh there aren't 2 words that are stam, and it's the same root from the word dwelling, Shechina, Shachen. But like to take the word Mishkan and to use it for Mashkoin is Zemanyan. It's not that common to do it. Mashkan, Shnei Pamim, Remez Lemigdash Shenismashken. Yeah. But again, it's not, a common way of looking at the word Mishkan that it means Mashkoin. Hagam, of course, if you want to, they're both words from Lashon HaKodesh. And the word mashkan for sure is in Chazal. I don't know if it appears in the Tanakh. I have a chance to look it up. If the word mashkan appears in the Tanakh. But it's definitely a Lashon Chazal. And it has to do with dwelling. It's, fine. But like, since when is the word mishkan used for the word mashkan? So we have, meanwhile, three questions.
It's not a cloud of Rashi that Rashi always says that when Chazal make a play on the words, it means it could have used a different notion.
No, that's something else. That's what something else. What? That's a different Yisrael. What? It's called what?
That's the normal word is mishkan. Usually when you use the peculiar word, then the play on the word doesn't mean the remedy.
But the normal is mishkan.
Isn't the actual pashas, it's just the remedy. Mishkan is the normal word.
But here it's not normal. It says Mishkan already the word before it.
So it's alluding. I hear now. I got what you're saying. I didn't get it initially. I hear what you're saying. That since the word mishkan is used, it's peculiar. It could be used for another lashon that you usually don't use.
But not only that, it says it twice in a row. So
Yeah. That's the problem. That's the only reason why it's peculiar. Any other reason why it's peculiar? That's the only reason. That says twice. So meaning that gives us the liberty to take the word mishkan and to use it the word mashkan, but it has to be a shaykhas. So let's just sum up again the questions that we have here. Mamash in a minute. Question number one, only one of them is superfluous. So how do you dash it both? That's question number one. Question number two, since when are churbanos of Batei HaMikdash called mashkoin? Since when? I'm going to say to Yisrael. Question number three is the word mishkan should mean mashkoin. It's not the common way of using it, even though they have the same shorish. Okay? And the last question, which the Maral asks, why we're speaking about the Mishkan only for a few parshas. Now you're saying that Mishkan means Mashkan and Chumanas? If it would have been the first time it says the word Mishkan, okay. It's not the first time. Well, the word Mishkan is already Masuni Mikdash. There it says Mikdash. But the word Mishkan appears already a few times. Ma kara achshav? So the answer is because it's written twice. Very good. But so the Torah could have written it twice before? So what happened now? And again, what Yechezkel saying could be a good answer. Here's the first time I find the words Mishkan twice, one after another. And that's probably true. Again, we have Bali Kuri here, Rabbi Yehuda, and Michael. Michael. We have a Bali Kuri. Is there any time that says Mishkan, one word after another? The Pash is not. So here's the only time that it begs for this interpretation. But he gufa. Why here? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in His infinite wisdom, decided to make this allusion, this alluding to the Mishkan, and he said the word Mishkan twice. There's probably something happening here. What is it? So those are the four questions we have. What do you want to say?
Just on the first question, Rashi doesn't say Remez Lishnei Mikdashos
Right. Rashi's saying it's like one Mashkan. I thought. I think you could say that.
He says B'shnei Churbanim.
Now, you hear what Michael's saying? The truth is, I thought about it also. But the only thing what is Michael saying? Michael's saying it doesn't say twice. It's once. It doesn't say Shnei Pa'amim Remez LeMikdash Shenit Mashken Pa'amayim. It doesn't say that. Remez LeMikdash Shenit Mashken B'shnei Churbanim. It's one mashkan. But so there's no connection between Shnei Pa'amim and Shnei Churbanim? No, and Kesher. That's what I was a little bit afraid to say, but if I would be a young lawyer like you, I would maybe have more guts. But, at my age, you're already a little bit afraid to do that. Mishkan. Why does it say Hayidiyah? I don't know. I don't think Rashi's asking that, though. It's a good question.
Both Mishkans have a Hayidiyah. It's just the second Mishkan's Hayidiyah is on Haidus.
But again, the first Mishkan say Hayidiyah.
They both got Hayidiyah.
It goes on both.
The Haidus is
What?
the Haidus, that Haidus, the Haidiyah.
Mishkan Ha'edus. The word ha edus means the first mishkan also is the hay, because that's what you always put the hay in the second word. That's what he's saying. Beis halachmi. That's what he's saying. And Yishomea. Well, very good. The tzibur today's on fire. I'm telling you, mashu. Maybe it has to do with the fact that what happened with the Mitzvah Shalevsky Chavle. Isn't it unbelievable? Unbelievable. And I just want to add to what I say, just for a second. I think I mentioned it that Mitzvah Shalevsky is not a private individual. He's very well known. A Rosh Hashiva, a Goyen, he wrote Sfarim, Ravish. And if this happens to someone if it happened to someone that no one knew about, fine, it's also Gavaldik. But here it's a public figure, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu is smiling to call Am Yisrael through this event. Because it's like he belongs to everyone. Who didn't hear from Tzukar Shalevsky? And you know what my son told me? That a sefer he published a few Sfarim recently, Tov Shepei Aleph, Tov Shepei Beis. He writes in the Akdama, and Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shemezakim, to have children. In the sefer. There's some kind of fun going. Yeah, and then he got and he went to Rav Sternbuch now afterwards, and he went. Then I saw the clip. Then he goes to Rav Sternbuch and he says, "Could the Rav give me a bracha that my son should be a Talmid Chacham?" So he answered back what you answer usually to a father at the age of 25. You make him a Talmid Chacham. You put it to koiches, he'll be a Talmid Chacham. Do you say that to someone who's 88? I guess it's a Arichos Yamim. It's a bracha, an indirect bracha for Arichos Yamim. It's absolutely fine. From the medical point of view, I'm told that the bigger chiddush is her, not him. She's 58. 58. No, the doctor spoke. I heard the doctor speaking. 58. She's a bigger chiddush. And the doctor said it could have gone wrong in a million ways. And Baruch Hashem was a normal pregnancy, the aleph ataf, like a regular young woman. Half of her, and the baby's 3.5 kilos. Biryon. Anyway, everybody's. When he told it to people, I found out about it like half an hour after what got happened, after the baby was born. So I talked to a few people. Everyone had the same reaction, the same face. What? Like 2-3 people that I know that are very, very normal. I remember the face. Like, probably what we all did when we first heard it. You know what I mean? Okay, Rabbi say. So anyway, today the oil was on fire in light of that simcha that Kosh Baruch Hu bestowed on Am Yisrael, because he's a public figure.
To teach us never to give up.
Marshall, you know, I made a cheshbon. He could have had someone. That's already pushing it. He could have been my father, so to speak, age-wise. I'm 66, 88. It could work. So he could have had someone 66, and he had someone who's 6 days old. It could be. It could at the age of 88. Chaver, make a cheshbon. You could say the following sentence: Be'ez Hashem, everything should be. But I want to wish all of you, and I don't think it's a mess. It's pretty normal. When you'll be 88, you'll be able to say the following sentence: my grandchild is a grandparent. You'll see. You can work it out. It works. It works. My grandchild is a grandparent. Give it a year, it works. That's what you could say at the age of 88. Here's the baby boy, the first time. Do you think it will make it to the Guinness Book? I'm serious. What? No, I'm just saying, will it make it to the Guinness Book? Good or bad is another question. Yeah. Anyway, but it was a television in Israel and everything. Like everybody knows about it.
I'm worried it will get into the non-Jewish public news because I don't think it will be seen as a positive thing.
Yeah. They're going to say it's not fair to the baby.
Child's going to be a Yossam, very sweet.
Yeah. I have an answer for that, but we'll talk about it if we finish. If you keep on behaving the way you're now, I'll tell you. Rabbi said, please forgive me. I'm used to speaking to teenagers. They can't sit talk. Have rachmanis. Have rachmanis. That's what I do the whole day. You hang around with babies, you end up being a baby. Okay, Rabbi said. So regarding that last question, what happened now? What happened now? Why now is the place to allude to it? So you're writing it twice. Why now? The Maral speaks about that question. Let's see. V'im Tomar. Question. And here, what we have on our page. Uma inyano lekan. Why is it happening here? Lichtov zekan. V'lama lo katav ze b'chol ha-parsha shekama. Again, when he says Pasha Lo Shinochin, I don't think he's referring to one specific Pasha, but the whole Indian of Mishkan that we had till now. Why wasn't it mentioned till now? V'lama lo katav ze b'chol ha-parsha shekama. And again, the Olam said, because it says here twice, Mishkan, Mishkan, so say twice before. He gufa. Omnam dava zehu mufla b'chachma. Mufla means it's hidden b'chachma. It's like, I think it usually means Kabbalah. V'zeh yadua mima shenishtabru haluchos mipnei shenitnu bepumbi v'shalat b'em ein hara. He's making a tzushtel that one of the reasons, why were the first luchos smashed? Pasha pshat, chet egel. Moshe Rabbeinu came down. He saw the egel and the rikudim and the mecholos, and he broke it. And but Chazal always say that there's a reason for the reason. There's an earlier reason. That how come the first luchos were broken and the second luchos were not? The first luchos are recording Ma'amad Har Sinai, which was in front of millions of people, a big event. So they got broken. I'm sorry? Kolos are broken. וזה ידוע מה שנשתברו הלוחס מפני שניתנו בפומבי ושלט בהם עין הרע. What does Ayin Hara do, Chavre? No, it's not superstitious. It means there's more Midas Adin. When it's Ayin Hara, there's more Midas Adin happening. ומפני שכאן כסיב, אלה פקודי המשכן, you're counting the Mishkan, שמנינו כל המשכן, they're being counted, ומפני כך שלט בהם Ayin Hara, שכל דבר שבמניין, Ayin Hara שולט בו. Like we know, אין דבר שווה, אין הברכה שר לא בדבר הסמוי מן העין, אין הברכה שר לא בדבר המדוד ולא בדבר המנוי, נגמר במציע, right? Meaning, how come he's comparing it to the luchos? When you count something, you're also, to a certain degree, revealing it, pointing it out, singling it out. It's not just one cholent. It's this and this and this. So you're making it a little bit noticeable. And that's what happened when it was Bepumbi. It's noticeable. Good. Since everything was counted, Shalat Ein Hara was it. There's an Ein Hara. The Beis Hamikdash. Beis Hamikdash was also counted. Right? Okay, because Rashi spoke about Beis Hamikdash. Kol davar shaya b'mikdash haya bo minyan. Kasher nichtab beferish in Sefer Malachim and in Sefer Ezra. It was counted again. V'chol makom sheyesh minyan Ein Hara sholet bo. So everybody said, what's the obvious question to ask? So don't count them. If counting brings such a result, so don't count. It's know that Pesach Kron told me once he was, we're shtickle mishpacha. His mother, Aleh Hashem, was a very special woman. They were very, very close to Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. They used to go a lot because she became a halmana at a very young age, and they had a special case with Yaakov Kamenetsky. And Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky went to cheer her up once and asked her, "How many grandchildren do you have?" So she said, "I don't count them." Rabbi Yaakov says, "No, you could count them. It's counting brachas. You could count them." She told him, "No, I'm not counting them. Like each was makabel. He's good lador. I'm not makabel. I'm not counting. I'm not counting them." So maybe let's all do what Rebbe Tzidkron did. Don't count. If counting brings about such results. So I want to tell you that when I was doing this morning the first time, for the first time for the Sefer, I was learning with a bacha then. He's today already a father, maybe a grandfather already. Ofetz Vilampert, a bacha, a talmud, and we were learning it Friday morning in my little room downstairs, and we said, "So don't count." So I said, "Yeah." So I said, "Let's call Rav Moshe." The chances that he's home is always nil, but give it a chance. I'm sure. Okay, the parking, Richard. The parking in. Okay, good. No, it's a joke that we had from last week. So anyway, I'll call upon him. So I called Rav Moshe. 641-4549. That's the number. It wasn't a secret. The other one, 6428-671. That was a secret. Okay, today it's not okay anymore. Right? Okay. Do we have enough? Baruch. What? Baruch's gone now. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So I called the Reb Moshe, and he answered. I said, the Rab, we're learning it down the Gur Ari in the beginning of Parshas Pikudei. Yeah. Like you do it like this. Mamish. I don't know what he was learning. He wasn't. Yeah. Like you don't have to say it. It's fine. So why, if counting brings such tragedies, don't count. So he tells me, Yeshua Tiyeh Bari. That was his first response. Yeshua Tiyeh Bari. Which means, it's a klutz kasha. That's what it means. I also know his terminology. But you see, you guys also know it. When someone tells you Yeshua Tiyeh Bari, like also in English you say bless him. Usually when do you say bless him? When you say something you're not so geschmack. Bless him. Right? Tiyeh Bari is bless him. I played dumb. I knew what he meant. I said, Amen! B'chel lemar! B'chel lemar, you should also be bari. Yeah. Is that so bad to say b'chel lemar?
Well, bracha zot.
I played dumb. So he said, oh, so then he played the game. Amen! Okay. And then he taught me something, Chevah, which is brought down here in footnote 7. Here, look at footnote 7, we'll start. Okay, we'll read it. ואם תאמר, מדוע מנעו את המשכן אם עניין זה גורר בעקבותיו את חורבנו? Why do you count the Mishkan if this counting brings about its destruction? ושמעתי מחכם אחד לבר. That's Rav Moshe. Rav Moshe told me after a while, אני לא אוהב את התואר חכם אחד. Because בעברית, מה זה חכם אחד? אוי בחור, that's what it sounds. Again, in the slang, that's what it sounds. Obviously, chacham echad, it's a normal expression. But in the slang, it means oy b'chacham. So I changed it afterwards. I called him Bari Barabi, whatever. I don't call him anymore chacham echad. I'm sorry?
Why didn't you mention his name?
Because I was convinced he doesn't want it. That's why I was convinced. And then it turned out to be, it was wrong. Dafka did not object. If it's written right. Again, you know what the Samsarfer said? On his Divrei Torah. It says, if you say over my Divrei Torah, you want to say it in my name, Michael. You can say it in your name. But if you say it wrong, don't say it in my name. Yeah, b'diuk. זה, בדיוק. בנימין זה good. בנימין יחזקאל הוא מכוון, בדיוק. ואם תאמר, מדוע מנעו את המשכן אם עניין זה גורר בעקבותיו את חורבנו? ושמעתי מחכם אחד לבר. Those were the days that you picked up a phone and you heard דברי אלוקים חיים. Look what he's going to say. כי החפצה של המשכן, which means the essence of the משכן, חל רק כאשר יש גם לישראל תפיסה ואחיזה בו. The Mishkan is the place that belongs to both parties. There's two stockholders in the Mishkan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Am Yisrael. That's what it's called. It's called Cheder HaMitos. Chazal call it. שהרי נאמר ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בסכר. והמשכן בעצם, intrinsically, שייך לקדוש ברוך הוא לישראל. קובר היטב בגורר באיש עשייה, שבית המקדש הוא ועד השכינה. What is ועד השכינה? Where you meet הקדוש ברוך הוא. ועד is where you meet. ושם יבוא האדם לעבוד את השם, יש פה שני צדדים. מתייחס לעליונים ותחתונים. It's referring to עליונים ותחתונים. והכל שווים בו, both parties are equal. ולא יאמרו העליונים לנו זה, the עליונים can say it's ours, למה שרשו בני אדם בו. ולא יאמרו בני אדם לנו זה, למה שהוא מקדש. Meaning, the base of English is base vad. Again, the word vad, moyet, what we say ayom to himself, what does it come from? Which word? To meet. Again, Pashup Pshat, that's like the only Seder in Shas that's not Lashon Rabim, is moyet. Everything else Lashon Rabim. Zraim, Kochim, Nashim, Nezikin, Tyrus. Moyet. Why did you say Moadim? It's not. It's called Seder Moed. That's how it's called. It's called Seder Moed. And again, I heard from Moshe, Moed means you meet. The meeting is one. You could meet on a few occasions, but it's a meeting. It's a mifgash. Moed means meeting. You don't say mifgashim. There's different times that we meet, but it's a meeting. Okay? That's what he said. So the base of English intrinsically is a place that belongs to both parties. V'ho'il v'chen, since we have to have our grip on it, הכנסת המשכן לרשותם של ישראל מחייבת שתהיה לישראל תפיסה במשכן. We have to have a grip on it. ותפיסה זו היא המניין של כל פרטי המשכן. That's counting all its ingredients. כי המניין מחצין את הדבר. That's Ramosha's word. He told me the word מחצין. Now, in Hebrew it's very common to use the word maflim. Maflim is I internalize. So what's מחצין? I externalize. Is such a word? Internalize. Yeah, there's such a word? Okay, good. כי המניין מחצין את הדבר, הוא מאפשר את האחיזה בדבר. וכמובן, כתוצאה מתפיסת ישראל במשכן, ישנה אפשרות לחורבן המשכן, כי חורבנו נובע מכך שאין ישראל רואים שישכן בתוך המשכן ותפחח. That means דברי פי חכם חן. It's a pasuk. What is Ramesh saying? Ramesh is saying, a Mishkan, here's the good news. You know, in Northwest London, we're into property. Probably the most expensive property in the world is Har Bayis. I don't know, I would imagine. It belongs, we have 50% of the shares. We are 50% of the, we're partners. You are a 50% owner of what's happening there, which is great. It's worth billions. But all that you should have a grip on it as a human being, you got to know the ingredients is what's in it. You can't snow me with details. People have to have clarity. It can't be something covered, unclear. Since it's ours, I want to know what we put into it. Give me the report. How much gold, how much silver, how much that. You have to count it to make it grippable, if there's such a word. To grip, grippable. Can you make such a word? What? Then I can grab it, I can have it. I can have a chiz on it. If it's something that I don't have clarity on it, I don't have a chiz on it. That's how our mind works. Yeah, that's what it means. Now, as a result, of course, once you have that ownership, with ownership comes responsibility. Meaning, you got to live now. You're the one that owns this place, so you have to be, the relationship has to be a proper relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And if we misbehave, it won't happen. Meaning, if we had no say on it, so maybe our behavior wouldn't have had such an effect. But since we're 50% owners, of what? I don't know if I want to say reciprocate. I don't know. That word I definitely know. The idea is that since we have a 50% ownership, we could destroy it as well, because it's we have a say for good or for bad. For good is that for the right madriga, so we have a building that represents our relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And for bad is if we don't live up to what we're supposed to be living up, so then it will be destroyed. Because it's like any relationship, you can ruin it or build it. So meaning, according to this maral, here you're making the base of English vulnerable for a churban, because the minion makes it yours. You can have a grip on it, but once it's yours, you can also destroy it. Because you are a big man d'Omer here. You are one of the key shareholders. You're a partner. So according to the morale, what we're saying, be'etzem, what's being said in this pasuk? Bottom line, what's being said here? The Mishnah is ours. With Hashem. We are partners with Hashem. We are binding with the Kodesh Baruch Hu on the Mishkan. That's what's being said in this pasuk. And since we have bailus, we got to know what we put into it. That's how people make things clear. Give me the ingredients, exactly what went into it. A stakeholder. That's the word. This pasuk is saying we are stakeholders of the Mishkan, together with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And therefore you have to humanize it and make it accessible to humans, which means you got to count it. And we should understand what's my yishbo. What do you have here? Once you play such a role, so here comes two things. You're expected to behave in a certain way of behavior. The court, what is it? Okay. But here comes another nakuda. If you destroy it, what happens to my 50%? Ich bin dabei. So what do you mean? You just destroyed it? It's mine. It makes the churban a mashkin. Meaning, like any mashkin, what's the loveness of a mashkin? A mashkin, a collateral, belongs to the loiva, but the loiva, due to the fact that he didn't have enough money, had to take a loan. He's giving a collateral which is his, but meanwhile it's in another rishus, the lender, because he's holding on to it to make sure he'll get back his loan. But he's going to get it back. A mashkin means it belongs to the loiva. It's resigning by the malva, by the lender, and when he'll pay up, it'll go back. Meaning, once you are emphasizing that Am Yisrael has a bailus on the Mishkan, you can't just destroy it. It's mine. What happened to my bailus? By definition, the churban means it's a mashkin. A collateral on what? So in a loan, it's a collateral on the loan. What is it, a collateral here? What would you say?
On the behavior
On the relationship.
Look at the Lashon Rashi. Go back to Lashon Rashi. You'll see how Rashi is very doing here. A collateral on what? Look what Rashi says. Shnei pa'amim remez nemigdash nismashke b'shei churbanim al avonoseyim shel Yisrael. Which means, the way Rav Pikudei calls it, the behavior of Yisrael. If you want to be a little bit more specific, on what we owe. We owe, like a loan, we owe, because we did Averis. When the Averis will be removed, Be'ez Hashem, Tshuva, Kapara, whatever, the collateral will come back. But here there's a need to bring out the collateral because this pasuk is emphasizing the different facets of the fact that we have a steak, like well done, medium steak. Okay, stakeholder. Okay, I don't care. Okay, it's very small pet for me. So anyway, I'll go put it. It's a stakeholder. Meaning, you know what happens is the fact that you're a stakeholder. You know what comes out? It has to be counted because it's yours. So you got to know what you have. You can't like snow me. You got to go into fine details. Ma'yishlipo. It has to be a dover mesuyim. Once there's human involvement, that's how humans think. So it has to be counted. B, the behavior of the stakeholders will make a detrimental effect if it's inappropriate. And C, you can't just take it away from me. It's mine. It's a shali. You can take it away only as a collateral and you'll give it back one day. Here is mischayev that the churban is a mashkan. Ki zeshali. You can't just take it away from me. We have bailus. What happened to the bailus in the churban time? Ne'elam? Halach? Ne'evad? It's a mashkan. Okay. So Rabbi say that's a come. Let's try to answer our questions here. Why suddenly here? So again, the question that we start. I'll go back we'll go for the reverse. Why is it mentioned here? Because here the conflict took place. That's what the Maral says here. Number one. Okay. How does a mishkan show in a mashkan? Again, here that you're emphasizing your bailus, so that by definition explains that the churban has to be a collateral. And here I'm going to use what Ari said before, which I didn't think about before, but Ari, thanks to what Ari said, that I'm alluding to another shaykhus to the word mishkan. It's not the normal one. When I say mishkan, I usually don't mean mashkan. But here, in this context that we're being counted, and the mishkan's being counted, which shows our bailus, stakeholder, that's what it shows. So here, the mishkan lends itself to the word mishkan. What's a shaykhus? That's residing in somewhere else. Mishkan also means masuni midas v'shachati b'soicham. I'm residing amongst them. A mashkan is the money of the loive, the collateral is residing by the malva. Why here the churban is called mashkan? Because here it was brought up in the clearest way that it's ours. So you can't just take it away from me. I'm the bailim. You can take from me a collateral, but not beyond that.
But if you never pay out,
What?
if you never pay up, then the Malva has got the right to keep
Okay.
the
Yeah. I guess that could happen also with the Churban. But Be'ezrat Hashem, Muftochim Yisrael, Sheyasu Tshuva. And why? Just regarding the question, if it says, if one of them is miyutar, superfluous, how do you know how to dash it to? It's just defining what the word Mishkan means. It's not that because it's meaning this. Really, only one is miyutar, the one mashkan. But what is it coming to teach me? That one time that's miyutar, then it's a mashkan. So I got it. If it's a mashkan once, it's a mashkan twice. You're defining, it's a Gilui Milsa. You're defining to me what the Mishkan means.
It's the same mashkin.
Right. It's the same Mashkan. That's what Michal said before.
It was returned. It's not a new, the Baruch Sheni isn't a new, it might be physically a new Mikdash. It's the same Mikdash coming back.
It's the same Mikdash coming back. Ru'al Bira Shechazal Rishonim. That's not like Yuma. So meaning, so what Michal said before, that it's really one Mashkan, so does it have to do with the fact that it says Shnei Shnei? A little bit, yes. Meaning, the fact that it says twice Mishkan, that makes one of them superfluous, right? And that gives you a getter what it means. So it's this one Mishkan that comes back and forth. So, but then it comes out that the Shnei Churbanim, it could have been also Shlosha Churbanim or Arba Churbanim, right? So we can say, you're right, Michal. You're right. You're right. But that's what's being said here. This is a pasuk which is revealing that we are stakeholders of the Beis Hamikdash. That's what this pasuk is saying. That's what the Mahal's explaining. It's not counting for the fun of it. It's because we're bailing. And when you have a bailing, that's Rabbeish's word, lachtzin. Lasod it's a chitzoni. Because we are people that we're chitzonim. Yes.
The minion is what gave us our stake in the.
I think we had this thing before. I think it's a gilui. Is it a sima or a sima? I always get confused on that.
But my question really is, what is our stake? Our stake is not the Zov and the Kesef, because that doesn't come back after the Churban. To Shir's question before, it's not the same binyan. The physical.
So it's not the physical.
Into the binyan don't come back, so it's not mashkin in that sense.
It's probably right. Probably right. It's not a mashkin in that sense of the material that existed there, but the bayit, the base vad.
So on your day, the minion of the material somehow we got saying.
It gave us an achiz on the mishkan. That's what it did then, and then you need to count again the bayis rishon bayis sheni. Each time you have to count it. It was counted 3 times in the mishkan bayis rishon bayis sheni. Each time it's counted because to bring out that it's ours. What? Not the stones. Yeah. Okay, Rabbi say that's a gewaltige nekuda here. Bad. And yeah.
The term's called consideration.
I'm sorry.
There's a legal term, consideration. It's what you get when you get into an agreement or something. What you do and don't do, and what you get and what you don't get. It's called consideration.
How's it called?
Consideration.
Consideration.
So it's what you get. It's what you do.
Yeah.
That is called consideration.
Good. Rabbi Yosef, thank you so much for teaching me all these nice words.
Help and try.
The word consideration I knew before, but that's used in that context.
Right.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Okay, shkoyach. Okay, Rabbi say. That's one round for today. Of the gilui of the Bailus. That means, hey, you just can't take it away. We're shutafim b'zeh. Okay, let's look at the next Rashi. Okay, let's go back to one more nekuda. The next Rashi. Mishkana Einus, the tabernacle. Tabernacle. Right? Mishkana Einus, tabernacle of testimony. Einus liYisrael. It's a testimony for Am Yisrael. Shevit elem HaKadosh Baruch Hu al Ma'aseh Egel. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu let go of Ma'aseh Egel. Sharei Hishra Shchinasa B'nehem. So, everybody, so this we spoke in previous years. I'll just make a little quick chazara. This Rashi l'chor is flying in the face. If we have of the Rashi beyond Pukti Upakanati, and they're the Pashas Kisitza, they're the Perek base. They were constantly bleeding because Chet Egel. What happened on Simchas Torah 5 months ago has to do with Chet Egel. Not only, but also the Shoah has to do with Chet Egel. Any Yiddish tzaras have to do with Chet Egel. Throughout the generations, so beyond Pukti Upakadi. And the Lashon Rashi says, "En lecha poronus u'poronus sheba al Yisrael she'emo mipiron of an egel." That's Lashon Rashi there. Every tzara, we're speaking about every tzara. I don't think you can say it on an individual basis, but on a national basis. Tzaras of the Yiddish folk. So how can you say vitel? Vitel al Ma'aseh Egel? We're constantly paying for it.
That is the came down also. That is the
Oh, so the answer to that is what Yecheskel is saying. Just connect to pay attention to this, Laguna. There were two punishments that Kodesh Baruch Hu had a habit to bring upon us as a result of Chet Egel. Two. One is he wanted to annihilate us. That everybody knows. And Moshe Rabbeinu pleaded on our behalf, and okay, we're going on. But then popped up a second punishment that Kodesh Baruch Hu wanted to implement. What's that second one?
He didn't want to rest the Shekhinah.
I'm going to send a malach. At the beginning of Perek Lamed Gimel, I don't know, do we all have Chumash or if we don't, okay. So I'm going to send a malach. You guys make me nervous. That's what Chizmo said. I don't want to dwell amongst you. I'm sending a malach. I'm sending a malach. That lasted for 10 psukim. Moshe Rabbeinu David, Tisha Shechina, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu answered. That was pasuk Dalet in Perek Lamed Gimel, pasuk Dalet, pasuk Yud Dalet. 10 psukim later, Kodesh Baruch Hu told him, "Panai Yelechu v'Anichos Silach." Says Rashi, I will be Mashra Shechina. So there's two tracks here. There's the track of annihilation, and then there's the track of no Shechina. That second track, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took back like stuck in a barrel. Then he took back totally. The other one, it went to kill us, and then the Kodesh Baruch Hu said, "I'm not going to." You know what Lashon Rashi there is? Ata shamati elecha minichaloisam. Now I hear your request. I will not annihilate them. Aval tamid, I'm going to collect for that. So it's a supplement for the kiloyon. And that's very meduk in Lashon Rashi. Edus Yisrael shevita l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu al Ma'aseh Egel sharei hishra shechinasa b'nehem. Look at those last 4 words of Rashi. Shaharei hishra shechinato b'nehem. He is explicitly singling out the hashra shechina element. That punishment really HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mevater. He took it back to the Gamay. I don't know. Again, I don't like to go around to back to other Rishon. I don't know. But Kodesh Baruch Hu said, "I'll make Moshe a nation, and you'll be the king." But anyway, I'll call upon him by saying it's clear that there's two separate punishments: one that we're constantly paying for, and one that was totally taken back. And the Shechina one is totally taken back. And that's Edus Yisrael Shevita l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu al Ma'aseh Egel sharei hishra shechinasa b'nehem. Yes.
Why do we need Eidos? Hashem says, "I'm coming with you." He came. I mean.
So it's an Edus. It's like it seemed to everyone.
But at that time, they knew, they perceived that Kodesh Baruch was coming with them, not just the Malach.
Yeah, I don't know what's it. Yeah. Because Baruch is saying I'm doing it publicly and it will be a known testimony that we're going on. I'm deleting Chet Egel. Showing that chesed. Okay. Now, I say, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, where did the second punishment come from? Stam? Maybe there'll be a third, fourth, fifth punishment. אולי יחזקאל רק תוריד את היד כדי שאני אוכל לראות את יצחק. עכשיו אני רואה אותו. Okay? Good. Rabbi Say, and love this, where did it come from? Will there be a third punishment coming up? What? So in Avodah Zarah specifically, there's a lot of rights to it, so we don't have time to go into it. In Avodah Zarah specifically, there's two elements. It's a transgression like any other transgression. I mean, a very serious one. It's been given Averos Chaboros. But I mean, it's an Avera transgression like any other serious Avera. But there's also another thing. Even if you remove the Issa part, it's an act of betrayal against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Like the Ramban compares it to Isha Saita. That's what it says, Kina by Saita, Kina by Avodah Zarah. It's almost the same thing. But it's an act of betrayal that we're worshiping other gods, not Hashem.
And that's why we have to have the water. And that's why they go out the water.
Kesaitos. Very good. Very good. Nachon. If you look at it, the two punishments that came about, Chet Egel, are coming from these two parts. The chiyuv that Kodesh Baruch said, I want to annihilate them. Where did that come from? From the Avera part. Kodesh Baruch wanted to do it also in Chadam Raglim. It's a very severe Avera, and it's a death penalty. But that Kodesh Baruch doesn't want to dwell amongst us. Where did that come from? And like I say, you can't live with the Saita. That's where it comes from. We're going to see the Mahal's going to say it soon. It comes from the act of betrayal. You know, by Saita, once we're comparing it, by Saita, the Marik, the famous Marik, if a woman says, I don't know if you're married to Reuven, you can't be with Shimon. I never knew that. She didn't know it's an Isser. Is she still Asur L'Baila? Says the Marik, yeah, Ma'al Ma'al. It's a Mila. Nothing to do with the Isser part. Forget about the Isser, the transgression, and the Avera. It's an act of betrayal. What? No, because okay, good. Fine. That is what said that. So, Mamela, that second punishment, that I don't want to dwell amongst you, where did that come from? We can't live together. That's for the Maisa Saita. So, basically, I would like to suggest humbly that the Avera of the Egel brought about the Hapamina to annihilate us, and the Maisa of betrayal brought about the I don't want to dwell amongst you. So look at the Rosh and Rashi.
Maisa betrayal is the ego.
I'll explain in a minute. You'll see what I mean. But over there, when he spoke about the annihilation one, "Ata shamati lechem mechaloisam, ve'en lecha poronos b'Yisrael she'emo b'piron ovoin ha'egel." That's how Rashi called it. Look how he calls it here. Edus Yisrael shevita l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu al Maisa egel. Oven egel, Maisa egel. It's zwei dinim. There's the oven like any other oven. Again, it's a very serious oven. I'm not coming to. It's one of the Gimel Avayavo. But it's an oven. The word oven is applicable to other averas as well. Less serious, but nevertheless. And then there's the Maisa egel, the act of betrayal, which is the other punishment of I don't want to dwell amongst you. Now, why am I bringing this up? We're saying that we can understand this second moral. Give a look. The Mishkan is a Edus Shevita LeHakadosh Baruch Hu Maisa Egel, right? In letter Dalet, Makatubo. Look, there are other great things that happen. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Luchas in Yom Kippur. The Mishkan was only built in Nisan, half a year later. So why aren't the Luchas a good thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Vita? So look what the Rambam says. Avanesinas Luchas Yisrael Eino Edus. Right? Why not? It's a hard work. The Torah is kasher. אבל השכינה בישראל הוא עדוס שאין אחד דר אצל שונאו כי אם אצל האויב. You live by someone that you love. ודוחה השונא ממנו. Meaning the sin, I guess. הוא לקח ראיה שביטר להם עוון. Meaning that because Baruch gave us the Torah, maybe he said, you gotta do this. It doesn't show that we're buddies. We're so friendly with each other. It's an oil, it's a yoke. It's a commandment. But to live together, that you only do with someone that you love. Right? You can't live with the nachash. Here comes the second point. We spoke before. Right? Right? She's also. When the Kodesh is coming to live amongst us again. That will reveal that we were never nitma. Right? רק ערב רב הם שעשו וגמרו לישראל לחתום. ולפיכך כאשר חזר הקדוש ברוך הוא אל ישראל והשכינה עמהם, he's dwelling amongst us, אם כן נתרצה להם בעבור שלא היה החטא מן ישראל, רק מן הערב רב. כמו שפירש רש"י בפרשת כסיסה, that, so meaning, what happened? Anesha Kodesh Baruch Hu said, no, through the tefillas of Moshe Rabbeinu, whatever how it works, it was evident that it was done through the Erev Rav. And Am Yisrael doesn't have to suffer from what the Erev Rav did.
Why do we suffer all the generations?
No, but the chet egel, because Paul is going to dwell amongst us. Okay? Now, Rabbi say, we all know also for Sukkot that the famous stories in the Sukkah that the Ananei Kovet came back on Tesvat Tishrei. Is there a sign that Kodesh Baruch was Mevatech my Segel? The Ananei Kovet, they were removed when the Egel was done. Yitzhak Tammuz. When did they reappear? Aval B'diuk. The Goyen says in Shir Hashem in Tesvat Tishrei. That's our Sukkot. You know, we know that, right? The Moshe Rabbeinu came down on Yom Kippur. On Yud Aleph Tishrei, he gave instructions what to do. On Yud Bet and Yud Gimel, he viu b'boiker. On Yud Dalet, he convened Kol Chacham Lev. And then it says what? They start building the Mishkan. And that's when the what? The Ananei Kovet came. So could you say that? I guess the Ananei Kovet are intertwined with the Mishkan, but is it now? So maybe that's what Rashi means. No, Hishra Shinas is much when he mamash dwelled amongst us, which was in Chodesh Nisan. Because if you need dwelling amongst us, the Ananei Kovet is not called dwelling. Living with us, that's the Mishkan. That's what's said here, number 15. ולפי זה מובן גם מדוע הנה חזרת ענני הכבוד, עדות לויטו. כי הנה ידועים דברי הקרא. בפירוש השם שענני הכבוד נסגרו בצער תמוס וחזרו יסמות הסלישי. אך אין בהם להיות עדוס לויטו, מעשה עגל. כי העדוס מתקיימת רק באמצעות ההשראה השכינה דווקא. ורק המשכן הוא מורה על השכינה השכינה הזו. Okay? So, good. So that comes out also Geshmak, that the Mishkan is revealing that whatever damage that might have been caused by the Maisa Egel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Mevater. There's still just one last question, but I said, well, that will conclude. The Gemara says, you know, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a Mevater. Vitor is a non-kosher terminology. The Gemara will become Tafnun Amud Aleph, at the bottom of the page. Kol ha'omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu Vatran. Whoever says HaKadosh Baruch Hu just lets go, will get punished for it. Shenema Ratzur Tamim Po'olo Yikichol Drochav Mishpat. And what could you say about HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He's Moichel, he's Soleach, he's Mechaper. That yes. In the whole box of Yom Kippur, which is this thick, and if it's translated to English, it's double. It doesn't say once. We say Slach Lanu, Mechal Lanu, Kaper Lanu. Do we say once Vater Lanu? Not even once. It's a terminology you're not allowed to use. So how did Rashi use it? It's Chazal. So I looked at Rashi's source in the Medrash L'Chuma, and there it says, Edus Yisrael, Shenimchal Lehem. With Mechila. That's kosher. I think we're going to have a marriage here. Yeah? What? Okay, fine. Mechus. So go, if you have to go. Okay. So Rashi changed it from a kosher terminology to a non-kosher terminology? Yes.
Could it be if it's for the Maisa Ha'igel?
Oh. Then you can have Vitor. When can't you have Vitor? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu is acting as a judge, you can't have Vitor. A judge cannot overlook any piece of information. The Messiah explains it. Just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not overlook any good deed that we did, no matter how small. He's not going to overlook any bad deed that we did, no matter how small either. But it's very nice to be a veteran. Not as a judge. On one-on-one, couples used to come to Rav Shach to get a bracha. You know what he would tell them? Tivatru. Mom, she said one word. Tivatru echad l'sheni. And so they came out, the couple that went to the no, tatchil levater. But that's what he would say. Vitor is a beautiful trait. It's very nice to be a veteran. An easygoing person. Not as a judge. If you're dealing in mishpat, which is punishments, you're being persecuted. What's the word? Prosecuted. You're being prosecuted. There's lawyers, there's judges, there's no vitor. But what if it's, can I trust you or not? Or you're trustworthy or not trustworthy? It's more a question of a relationship. Vitor can work. It's very nice to be a veteran. Maybe Rashi wants to bring out that Nakuda. It's very nice to be a veteran. After. Okay, so that's this Nakuda of Vitor. You know, like, yeah. In Midas Adin, the Mesilas Yesharim explains, if a Kodesh Baruch Hu is not mevater, so what does Rachmim help? If a Kodesh Baruch Hu is so tough, so what does Rachmim help? So he says three things. Tshuva, and a Kodesh Baruch Hu will wait, and even when it comes, it doesn't come with his full wrath. Wrath? Wrath. Maybe Americans say wrath though? That's right. B'chol, you say wrath or wrath? I don't know what the Americans say. Wrath. You know what Moshe said on that? That these 3 points that the Mesilas Yesharim says, that tshuva will give you time, and it doesn't come with its full gas. V'hu rachom yichaper avon, yichaper v'lo yashir, kapor tshuva, v'hirba l'ashiva po, Kodesh Baruch Hu waits, v'lo ya'ir kol chamasai. We spoke about it, he doesn't invoke. You know, did you ever see, I'm sure, I must say you're all tzaddikim, but did you ever see a football match on television? We still, like, by the way, you're going through the channels, you look up a Shir Torah and you saw a few minutes, some kind of a recap of a football match. Did you ever see the following in any sports, basketball, football, whatever, the ref makes a whistle? That happens a lot, that the players argue. It never helps. By the way, did you ever notice? Today there's a process you could read, but otherwise it never helps. But what about the following? That a player should go over to the ref and say, yes, I committed the foul. I'm going to. But I have a wife and children to support. Please, give me another chance. I won't do it again. Please, I have a wife and children. It will never happen. If the ref would say, I'll give you another chance, I'll be fine the next day. There's no tshuva when there's din. Sports is din. You did the foul, yes or no? You did what? Nice in the man. You have a wife and children. You did the foul, you didn't do the foul. So you did the foul. Shalom Yisrael. That's how the world would have looked if the world doesn't. There's nothing what to talk about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu enables tshuva, which is like a valdik matana. In the world of din, it's unheard of. You know, I tried once to make a fund in the school for rebbes. You know, if they have simchas, Hashem chasnas, bar mitzvahs, and so the non-Jewish had a very fine fellow, but yeah. So I remember he told me, Rabbi, I don't understand. What? Because he's marrying off his child, he's a better teacher? Why should he get paid more? You know, where he's coming from, he's 100% right. No. Well, because you're marrying off a daughter, you're a better teacher? You're not. So why should you get more as a teacher? That's a little bit thin. Yeah. Okay, boys, we want to wish everybody all the best. And the B'yatz Hashem, it should be a good week for Am Yisrael. And just like this week, we had the B'sura Taiva from Tzim Krishlevsky with his son. We should have a B'yatz Hashem weiter and weiter. B'sura Taivas, Yeshua. Oh, we have a Rav Pikudei is marrying off his daughter next week. I don't think it's going to make the headlines like Tzim Krishlevsky, but okay. Okay, I'm excited. Yeah.